Okay, can you hear me now? I think you should be able to hear me now. Okay, all right. I had some serious craziness happen just before I was going to go live. One of my cameras was unplugged from the USB port, and since it is under my desk and everything, I thought I could just insert it back in and I'll be fine. But I think I put it in the opposite direction or something, and my computer gave me the message that my USB port is short. So that sucks. And I'm seeing my Wi-Fi is also being very picky right now. Goodness. I wish I had a solution for everything. Okay. All right. I'm glad you all can hear me. So what I am essentially doing right now is I had cut up these sequences. They come on this coil of like a string of sequence, and I just cut them out like 6 or 7 8 stitches, sequence 6 or 7 8 inches off, and I'm just removing some of the edge sequences so that it'll give me something to grab on. Yeah, there was some static for sure. I heard the static and it didn't sound good, and basically my computer gave me the message that, and I have only 2 USB ports on my desktop. That's weird. So I might need to get a multiplier. I don't have one, and I don't know if that's going to affect video quality moving forward. So anyway, so now you're going to get to see only one camera view, which should be fine. You don't need to see more than that, right? Okay. So I have basically 2 different colorways of sequences prepared, and this takes forever to do. So I have this gold purple, and I have some pink and blue. So I have these 2 sequences prepped up. Hey Tete. Okay, so sometimes it's temporary. Yeah, I'm going to reboot later on and I'm going to try again. So hopefully it'll be fine. So I've prepped up these strings of sequins, which I'm going to be attaching to my yarn. And I also have I have made a bat out here. I had made this a while back as part of a bat challenge that I did with Nicole Frost and Stacy Stash. And I feel I want to add sequence to it. So what I'm planning to do is alternate each colorway. Hopefully it'll work. So I'm keeping those piles in front of me, and hopefully I can grab them easily when the time is right. And I'm just going to pre-draft my bat a little bit. I don't want to do it too much. I don't want it extremely skinny because I am going to be core spinning this and securing it to my yarn. Now this technique I have picked up from Jazz Turtles Esther Rogers DVD collection, and I've seen her do it in the video a few times, and I always thought that's cool. I need to try it, and I have never had a chance to try it. The only thing I tried was just this one little bit. Let me see if I can show you. So I just tried one string out there. I don't want to move my camera too much because it'll take me forever to set it up, right? So hopefully I'll be able to do it, and you can pick up on the technique. Again, I'm using a core which has some grab to it, and I have a bunch of sequins on the floor, which is of course not fun. And of course you can see Casper lying down right there because he saw the camera turn off, and somebody is not usually happy about that. Okay, so core spin for a while, and then since I did the pink one last, you go ahead and you attach your sequence string with it facing you so that it secures it. So first you're going to secure it by spinning the core around it, and it's going to go all crazy. Don't worry about that. And then you can pull it out a little bit, and we're going to treadle slowly and there is a bead of strings. Tear off your core and attach the other end, secure it with the fiber again. So essentially you'll end up having this bit of core spun yarn with sequences attached to it. That's the goal. So I'm going to continue this way and hopefully get better at it. There might be extra twists that I'm adding which I don't need. I'm going to worry about those things later. Right now my goal is really to attach these sequence strings in there. So I highly recommend checking out her DVD. I don't know if she still has them on sale or not, but check out Jazz Turtle's DVDs. They have some cool techniques. Just straddle very slowly because you don't want to add extra twist when not needed. There, that looks secured. Just got a message from Susie. I wish I had my other camera set up too so you could see it all glittering and going on the wheel, but you know, we're gonna make do with what we can. Yeah, you can try this method with like just a ribbon with strings of lace, and just, you know, stick your the strip of ribbon in this way, attach it on, make sure it's nice and secure there, then just core spin for a bit portion. Again, this is not something, you know, I have done a lot of. This is the first time I'm trying it. No, this is not an electric wheel. This is the Majacraft Aura wheel, which is part of my Artist in Residence with the Fibery Goodness magazine, and you should check out their website. They have a great magazine, and I am the part of my Artist in Residence program is to make different kinds of art yarns, which I've always wanted to do, and my other wheels kind of fell short a little bit of doing them. So I'm now in the last 2 months or so, I have been experimenting with different art yarns on this wheel to see if I can actually do the things I want to do. Okay, so there is also the thing where you can make it into a bead. You don't have to make it into full string. So you can have it like a tiny little bead in there of sequins. I like the take up on this wheel for doing such kind of textured yarns, which is what I had trouble with on the others. So which color did I do last? Did I do the pink last? I think I did. So you can use, a piece of lace or a piece of textured ribbon or just fabric scrap and try this technique like this and see if it helps you achieve something different than you normally would do with your art yarns. My art bat itself has merino, silk threads, Angelina. So what was that? You have tried core spinning twice, but both times you found your core threads too slippery. Yeah, plain polyester sewing thread would be very slippery. Cotton, bamboo, DK yarn also. Yeah, try something which has some grab. Like this has, you can see it has some fuzzy yarn to it. That works well. And I have had pretty decent luck with just trying plain regular worsted weight acrylic yarn like your Red Heart or something like that. You have to be a little careful of the amount of twist it gets, and of course it's usually a thicker yarn, but it might not be a bad place to start. That's how most of my earlier art yarns were, because I mean core yarns were, is because I couldn't get hold of a decent grabby core. So see, this is pretty strong. No, that one came off, so we need to attach it better. I just wanted to make sure that they were actually as strong as I'm thinking I'm putting them in. So let's try that again. Oh, that's better. No, that came off again. It's because I'm not spinning over it tight enough. So let's try. Okay, that should make it grab well. But let's now core spin along the length a little bit. And then Yeah, play with some acrylic. It's cheap, so you don't have to invest a lot. Because they generally say mohair is really good, but sometimes mohair yarn can be pretty expensive. The particular core yarn that I'm using was fairly inexpensive. The only thing is I had to have it shipped from New Zealand, so it was more shipping cost than what I actually paid for the yarn. But I did get enough that you know it should last me a lifetime. But famous last words. I'm pretty sure I have enough, and I have uh, sent some for safekeeping to Evanita. So, in case I run out, I know where Evanita lives, and I'll be like, "Hey, I need my Korean back." There we go. So what I'm realizing is that when I am securing them, I kind of like to secure a little bit over the sequence as well, and not just the thread. So Esther Rogers' DVD talked about just securing it on the thread, but I'm finding it's a little too loose. It comes off easily. I have been spinning a lot, but the cones are really huge. You really don't, land up using them that quick. So I'll be fine. And we all know where we can get more. So instead of just trapping the threads part, I'm actually trapping a little bit of the sequence as well. So I'm letting the core wrap around the sequence portion as well, so that makes it grab a little stronger. It's the texture of the sequence and the fiber wrapped around it which gives it a better holding there. And then I can take that. There we go. And then again, even at the bottom, I'm kind of going a little over the sequence. I'm not essentially counting how quick I'm putting them on or anything. I'm just going by feel. Whenever I feel I need to have more, I put on more. I need to take that phone call later. Not now. Okay, let's get some more there. In this part I treadle slowly, just don't want to add extra twist. And then some more fiber to secure the other end. Oh, you are, sir? It's, your DVD, I have watched that sequence so many times, how you attach the sequence, and every time I look at it I go like, I need to try that. And I'm so glad you could join in. I've been telling everyone about your DVD, and I don't know if they're still available on your website, your DVD collection. So Esser is Jazz Turtles, and there are lots of cool tips on add-ins and art yarns in that DVD. A lot of stuff I've wanted to try but haven't tried yet. I hope I'm doing a good job. Do I have a project in mind? I don't. For me, most of my projects land up being making the art yarn and then figuring out what to do with it. I hope I'm not outing all your secrets, Esther. It's I keep getting conflicted about things like this when I'm doing them live, but I try to let people know the sources of where they can learn more than what they are seeing from me. This is not a how to, this is just me trying out things that I have been learning. And there might be things which I might realize later on that I should have done them a different way. But you will only learn if you try. Okay, I also wanted to check that after it goes on the wheel, whether it loses any twist. It doesn't, so that's kind of good. Yeah, and they look pretty cool just hanging in the background of my wall, so I don't mind that look either. So I'm going to try and give you another view so that you can kind of see what's happening here. And because I'm really enjoying them going on the wheel as well, all the sparkliness, all the fun stuff. But unfortunately you cannot see my hands now, but that's okay. There we go. I want to show you the wheel view so you can see the fun that happens while you're spinning. You get to see all that sparkliness. Look at all that sequence and that yarn. I'm loving this. This will make such a nice sea themed yarn. Okay, what color did I do last? I don't even know. I thought I'll be very organized, keep picking from one side or the other and have alternate distribution of the two colorways of sequences that I have, but I guess I'm just going random. If you're enjoying the videos, and I really appreciate the Patreon members who have been contributing to making these videos possible, and keeps me motivated to keep making more videos then. And I go live usually twice a week, if not more, and it's usually I'm spinning or I am working in the clay studio, and you can see kind of both parts of the process as to what's happening. I know some people have wondered that why do they see so much of fiber stuff when my business is really about the clay, but for me both of them influence each other. So you will get to see fiber stuff happening, even though it's mostly a clay business here. So if there are any other yarns you think I should try, give me a shout out and I will see if I can accommodate them. I have few other plans for the future. I want to do some kind of beads and different other kinds of add-ins. I'm not saying anything now because I'll just get excited about it, and then I'll be, if I can't get to them soon enough, I'll be disappointed. So I have my list, let's just say that. See, this is a little bit looser right there. So if I add few treadles to it, I think it'll get better. Yeah. Alright, I need to prep up with some more fiber, and I don't know how much. I have a pretty decent sized bat here. I think it's probably like 3 or 3.5 ounces. So I'm liking the way the colors, so the sequence is not standing out like a big contrast, it's kind of blending in as well, which is what I kind of wanted to happen in this yarn. And let me see if I can post a picture of the inspiration picture that we had for this bat. So this is something Frostian and Stacy's stash. We got together and we said, oh, let's try this. And wait a second, where would that be? Dime, color inspiration. Gosh, don't you just hate it when you can't find things in no, that's not it. I'm trying to find the picture which has led to this particular fiber creation. Nope, that's not it either. No, give me a second. No, I know it's in here somewhere. You're glad you saw these notifications. Yeah, it's fun to make these art yarns based on something, and I'm trying really hard right now to find the inspirational picture for this. It would make so much sense as to what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, but now I cannot for the life of me find it. So I'm sorry, that's not gonna happen. Anyway, yeah, and in order to get notifications, you can either subscribe to my YouTube channel and set your notifications to turn on, or whenever I go live on Facebook. If you are on Facebook, you can do that. And I have on YouTube as well, I have several videos. They are not really how-to videos, they're mostly me spinning live, so it's kind of like part of the process. And you will see the problems I'm having, the way I overcome them or I don't overcome them, and just let go of the whole thing. They are just live feeds. So, and there are plenty of great instructional videos out there, like the one which I was talking about. Susie Brown has from, I think her channel name is the Wool Wench, or Fibery Goodness. I keep forgetting which one it is, but anyway, she has a lot of great art yarn videos as well, and they are how-to videos. DVD collections of Esther Rogers are really cool. JC Boggs also has some cool DVDs. I have her DVD and her Craftsy class. It's her Craftsy class I had taken first to actually learn a bit about art yarn spinning. So a lot of cool things out there. So look at all of that. I usually pick one particular technique which I want to try, and then I work towards that. And there's one thing about seeing how-to videos, because they tell you the exact steps you need to take, and I feel there is a certain amount of learning that comes about when you are um, doing things live, because you're seeing the problems I might have or the extra twist I develop, and it just gives you a different perspective, or makes you realize that not to feel so disheartened when you're trying it, because it doesn't go as smoothly the first time. And then if you're watching live, you can ask questions as to what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, or if I have a solution for somewhere you might be stuck during the process. Do you set the twist on the art yarn? Yes, I do. Depending on the art yarn, I do different things. For most yarns, I do prefer to wash them, and what happens with that is the yarns really puff up and they really set up well, and that I would do for like coarse spun yarns, or if I've coarse spun and spiral plied or cable plied it, do washing it really helps secure the yarn, make it more puffy, really full it properly. It really changes it significantly, and for I would say 95% of the time it has been for the better. So people get really afraid of doing anything to the art yarn, because they feel that it looks pretty good right now and I don't want to ruin it. But believe me, you won't ruin it for the most part. And if there is a particular art yarn, like say not this one, but if I had done some very complex spirals or something and it had very delicate parts in it, like puffed up parts in it, then I would probably just steam it and not put it through a wash. But yeah, and honestly, this is something probably you've heard before and you don't want to hear again, is the only way you really know is by actually trying it out. And because you could be putting too much or too little twist, and your yarn might be changing because of the way you decide to set your twist. One method that works for one person might not work for you because of the way you are constructing your art yarn, or what particular quality your art yarn has that maybe doesn't work for washing. Maybe it works only for steaming, or maybe it doesn't even work for that. The last yarn I did was with a really big sequences. Let me just bring it up real quick so I can show you, and I'll show you what I realized very quickly when I did that. So this was the one I did. Now this one has these big, almost 1-inch round sequences in it, and the basic yarn was coarse spun initially, and then it was spiral plied with the sequences attached to my ply thread. Very time consuming, because first you have to prepare your ply thread by attaching all the sequences, and they are pretty secure on this. They are not going anywhere. They can't slide around. They are not just threaded in. They are very secure and they stay in that position, which is what I like. You can plan it exactly how far apart you want the sequences and they stay that way. Now with this, I was like, okay, I'm just going to steam it and not do anything. What I realized very quickly was, as I was steaming, look at what happened to my sequence. It curved under the heat of the steam. So I stopped immediately. So steaming kind of didn't work. For this, probably washing would be better. So, so this was the big sequence. Hey Nancy. So you, again, there's not one method that fits everyone for doing these things. You just have to try them out and see what works. So I'll go back to the view of me actually doing the attaching these sequences again, so you can see how that is happening. But so after doing those big sequences, I decided that, okay, let me go to a string of sequences, which was a lot of fun as well. Yes, these things can be very picky sometimes and be extremely annoying, because you think that one thing works and it should just work for everything, but then it doesn't, and you wonder why. It's because, and one person will tell you that you should always do this, and you try it and it doesn't work for you because there might be something different that you're doing than what they do. So just try it out, see what works. And it also depends on how you like your yarn. Maybe you don't like it all puffy and poofy, so we just have to try it out and see what works. So Nancy, you have knitted with small ones and crocheted them too. Cool. Yeah, I have no idea what I'm going to do with this. I think it would make a really cool yarn in weavings. It can give just that amount of bling, which will be fun, and texture as well, which is always good. What color did I attach last? I keep forgetting which one I attach. That looks like the purple one. Not that it matters, but yes, and it's a great finish for the edge of a shawl or something like that. Like that big sequence one would be great on the edge of a shawl. And you just need enough to do, that last row. So you don't have to spin a bunch. That's a cool thing with art yarns. You don't have to do a whole lot of them. The fiber mix that I have, that I'm currently spinning on, is a bat I made from merino, silk, and Angelina, and yeah, and different colors of Angelina, and it also has silk threads and silk noils in it. So it's a bunch of stuff, really. So it has a lot of sparkle, and the colors are pretty similar to the sequence colors that I'm adding in. So the sequence is kind of just adding to the sparkle of the yarn. And I can spin actually a very smooth yarn out of this, or a very textured floofy thing. It works either way. Hello Stella. Alright Nancy, the video is gonna be up on my channel and on YouTube as well, so you can always look it up there at a later point. There's some craziness going on there. Let's see. Yeah, too much twist there, but it's fine. I like the way there are different sequences in which this spins up. So again, I'm liking some not so much. So I'm trying to see, what angle I would like to keep the yarns at, or the sequence at, while it's wrapping around. Some might work, some not. What color did I do? I did the purple. Okay. So this next one, I'm just going to try changing the angle a little bit. So instead of going perpendicular, I think I'm going to go at a little bit of an angle like this. I kind of like that better. It distributes them, more evenly. It's almost like one color of the sequence appears here and the other color appears on the other side. Hi Nicolene, you didn't watch the start of the video, but how are the sequences attached to each other? So these sequences actually come in a string on a bobbin like this, and it's basically a long string with all the sequences attached, like a long string basically, and all of them attached. But what I did in the beginning of this video was I cut them up into like 7-8 inch lengths, and I removed some of the sequences on the edges. It takes forever to do this. I was doing that for an hour before even starting the video, and when I started the video I just did few of them to show what it was. So after the live is over, you can actually see how I prep up the fibers. Hey Janet. The yarn that I had posted about yesterday, that was different. That was, the sequence they come separately, and that had to be individually attached to my ply thread one by one, and then I plied the yarn. Very time consuming, but if you want it to look like this, you kind of have to do that. I was just checking, there are people posting messages on Instagram where I said that I'm going to go live, and the cool thing is you can watch it later too. So the videos stay there, and I really appreciate the patrons who make that possible. And if you'd like to join my Patreon, the website is listed on the screen, and you can join as little as $3. It helps supports the live streams, and there are different levels to it, but if you just enjoy watching the lives, you don't have to sign up for a lot. Okay, so see, I like this more when I apply it more of an angle. Like this is a little bit too tight, so you're dreaming of little shells. Shells is in my queue. I have actually prepped up shells which are kept on the side, and I was planning to put shells on this one, but it's kind of that thing where, I was like, okay, I need to be careful and not try throw everything and the kitchen sink in all one yarn. So I was like, no, with the shells, let me just make a separate yarn from it. It will become too much all on one. So I plan to use the shells in the other yarn. There are shells, there are beads, just so much you can add on. And it's all fun. So again, if I put it at an angle like a 45-degree angle, I like it a lot more than doing it at a sharper angle. Then it looks like a bead and becomes very thick. I kind of like it just like a string of sequences sticking out. I think I like that look better. So again, there is no right or wrong way of doing it. It's basically how you want your yarn to look. If you want, you can throw the shells and the sequins and the beads and whatever else all in one yarn. That works as well. The cool thing about spinning is you can actually make the yarn that you want to make. You don't have to follow any rules, and you can just make what you wish. Again, so see, I'm gonna try. If I do it this way, like at a 90-degree angle, they become too clustered together. But if I do it at the 45-degree angle, I like it a little better than that. Plus it gives me a longer string of sequences. So that's one thing I'm realizing. I thought I would like the 90-degree better when I started off, but the more I'm doing this, the more I feel I like this look better. And after I don't know who it was asking me about setting up the twist. Now this is the first time I'm spinning this kind of yarn with sequences attached, and because the attachment process and adding the twist to make the sequence look the way I want is different than what I'm used to. I'm really not sure if I'm adding way too much twist on my final yarn or maybe too little twist. I don't know that right now. The neat thing is that it's okay for me to change my mind, and after I have spun it all up, I'm going to set it by maybe not steaming this one because it has sequins in it. I'm going to wash this one and see how the twist is, whether it looks very compact and still is very over twisty. Then I might pass it through the wheel again and remove that extra twist, or I might felt it a little bit and then remove the extra twist. So I can keep working on the yarn after it's spun up. And I feel a yarn is not finished until you have actually finished the yarn. The spinning is only part of the process, and since so many yarns, like if you do spirals or beehives, wash them and they just turn so much more dramatically than what you make. Like the coil definitely looks really cool when you have just spun it and it's on the bobbin, and then you remove it and it still looks cool. But you wash it and those thick coils, they kind of compress and they become, they could, like, it depends again on how much twist you have put. They could totally, you know, change your views on them, that, oh, this is a lot better than I thought. Or you would be like, no, next time I should just steam it, or not even do that. But you will not know until you try that out. So Susie and Arlene have recently started a podcast, um, and called Tiny Talk, and it's about, everything fiber related. And recently we were chatting on that about experimentation and exploration, to see what everyone's process is. And the one big conclusion is always that you really don't know until you try it out. And if you really like the results, what I like to do is keep notes, so that the next time I can repeat what I intended. And now with me taking these videos and these being on YouTube, these have kind of become now my library. I can actually just go back and look at my video and see what I did, and while, because they were all done live, I can kind of see that what was working and what wasn't working. It's not just like this very particular section, or a small part of the technique. So I highly recommend watching those podcasts. They're fun. I think there are only 2 episodes up right now. They just started it, so, but I'm sure there's a lot of cool stuff coming up. Someone has come for attention. Okay. I also do love the capacity of the Majacraft Aura bobbins. I can really pack a lot. I'm not even using the overdrive bobbin actually for this. The overdrive bobbin is huge. So people who are watching, what wheels do you have? And have you tried any art yarns or anything of that sort? The Spinolution, Jan. Yeah, that's a cool wheel. That's one wheel I haven't tried yet. And when I was looking for art yarns, that was on my list to see. Um, I've seen some really cool art yarns made on that. The one thing which I was a little skeptical on that was how big it was, and I I have limited space, so its footprint was so much bigger. Yeah, the Ashford Kiwi. Yeah, that's a pretty neat wheel. Can you do art yarns? Oh, so you have Super Flyer on it. Yeah, because the Kiwi I thought was a much smaller wheel, so I guess if you have a bigger flyer on it, that might help. Yeah, it is big and it's not portable. I kind of like the portability aspect of wheels. Um, Not just like, portability to travel anywhere or anything, but I have a small enough studio space and I keep moving my wheel from one position to another. Like if I'm doing live feeds, like right now I'm right in front of my monitor and my computer desk. I can't have the wheel sitting here, but it's a good position for me to do a live feed. I can chat, I can look at the screen, I can spin, I can put the camera angles where I want. But when I'm just casually spinning and not live, I'm not doing it in front of the desktop because I need my desktop for doing office work. So then I need to pick up the wheel and move it. And the Aura is it is a very stable and fairly heavy wheel compared to my previous wheels, but it is easy to pick up and move to another position in the room. I don't move it up and down the stairs a whole lot. I could. It's not. It has a nice way to carry it, but just moving it from one position to another in the room helps. The Spinolution, that's what I thought I like. That wheel, wherever it gets placed, is just gonna stay there. It's not moving anywhere. So that was the one reason why I hadn't looked into it further. But I'd never spun on it, so I have no idea. I've seen videos of people spinning some cool stuff on it though. So do you spin a lot of art yarns on that, Jane? Is it Jan or Jean? Jan, maybe. Yep. There, complaints of Casper are in. Okay, Superflyer was an awesome upgrade because it has huge bobbins and allows you to feed really thick art yarns up to an inch and a half. Oh, nice, yeah. That's the thing, when it comes to art yarn, and especially textured art yarns, you really need to be able to pass it through the orifice or delta or whatever thing it is, or the hooks. You don't want it to get stuck in different areas. Like I have spun my previous art yarns on the Lendrum, which has a 1 inch big orifice, but because of the way the yarn guides are, and when the yarn is very textured, it always got caught up behind, and I had to hand wind those yarns up. So the take up on that was getting a little difficult for some very textured art yarns, and means I can always hand wind it, but that's what it was like, slowing me down even further when I was making those yarns. I could increase the tension on the scotch tension, but I have broken my tension band on that several times just because of how much, you know, how tight I do it. And then again, you don't need that tight tension for throughout the yarn. You probably just need it for that section which has that, very thick texture on it, and then it's like smooth spinning like this, and that becomes too much of a pull for that part. So they all have their good and bad points, but like I've spun it's a very flexible wheel. Like I have done fine spinning, my traditional spinning, and art yarns. That also comes with different flyer options, which is nice. And the Craft Aura wheel, the one which I'm spinning on right now, my intention of getting this wheel or trying this wheel out was specifically only for art yarns, and I kept seeing people spinning very fine yarns. I saw Susie spinning embroidery thread on it, and I was like, is that even possible? And well, it of course it was, because she was doing it. So I tried spinning for socks for the first time, and actually I'm wearing them right now. So those are the socks that I spun on this wheel as well. That was chain plied, and this one was a traditional 3-ply. Same colorways, but you can see it's a big difference. And I'm now putting them through the test to see which one lasts longer, if that's a thing. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to take a break now. I need to have some lunch. And how long have I been spinning art yarns? I've been spinning art yarns for probably 2 to 3 years. Yeah, I think I got my Lendrum around 2 years back. So that's when I really got into spinning art yarns. Means I always tried it. I have a Hanson electric spinner too. I tried it on that, but I just didn't have much control on it. So that's why I got the Lendrum, and then I was landing up with some limitations on that. And now, as part of the Artisan Residence program with Fibery Goodness, I am spinning on this Aura wheel here, which I really like. And this is a shot of the yarn that we have spun so far. So I'm really liking the sequences. The colors are looking blown out. Let me turn off that light, and then it looks too dark. No. So I've been really enjoying this wheel, and we'll see. Hopefully I don't have a lot of sequins. I have just that much of that colorway left, which I think I've used more of than the purple. They kind of look equal. So I have that much still left. So probably will take me another half an hour to spin that up, but I'm going to do that at a later time. I'm hungry. I need to have lunch. So thank you everyone for joining me, and hope you had fun. Hope this inspires you to spin some art yarns. Feel free to visit my website, my Patreon page, and have a look as to what's out there. On my YouTube channel, all my live feeds are always recorded, and they're always there, so you can go back and look at the videos. And they are long. They are all usually at least an hour plus long, but it's me spinning live. There is no shortcuts, there's no editing. It is what it is. You get to see the downfalls, you get to see the successes, and my learning process. So hopefully that will motivate you, and maybe you can sit with your wheel trying to spin the same yarn at the same time while you watch the videos. So have fun, and have a good day. Bye, everyone. Bye, Carla.